Hello, I'm Alan Ram, President and founder of Alan Ram's Proactive Training Solutions, and here's what's got me fired up today. Weak leaders. For those of you who don't know, I served in the United States Marine Corps. For one of my jobs, I worked in our company headquarters for about a year. My office was located right next to the company commanders. Now, Captain Perkins had a loud voice, and he tended to keep his door open so that when he was chewing someone out, you knew about it. I remember one day Lieutenant Fuller went into the captain's office with that sheepish look junior officers would have as they anticipated what was in store for them. Lieutenant Fuller actually came from a family of pear farmers somewhere in the Carolinas. I always imagined a beautiful pear farm with perfectly tended orchards. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Fuller had a leadership issue. For whatever reason, he couldn't figure out how to get his men to do what he needed them to do when they needed to do it, even though he was technically in charge. Everything he wanted them to do was not only lawful, but beneficial not only to the unit, but to each of them individually as well. Still, his people would not listen. I would hear him whining to the captain about how he couldn't get his men to do this or that. On one particular day, when the captain's ass chewing was especially brutal, he actually closed his door. I strained to hear what was being said through the closed door, and all I could clearly make out was, "Lieutenant Fuller, if at your pay grade and rank, you can't get your people to do what you need them to do, you need to grow a pair." I was somewhat surprised that the captain was suggesting to the lieutenant that maybe he should go back to the family business and grow a pair. Now, while most people don't come from a pear farming background, some dealership management staff might also be well served by growing a pair. I got to thinking of a dealer that we've worked with in the past. This guy is an actual general manager partner in the dealership, and during a phone conversation with him, he brought his general sales manager in his office. I then got to hear both these two whine about how they can't get their managers or salespeople to train, much less handle a phone call properly. This was a clear-cut case of the inmates running the asylum. I actually asked the dealer partner and the general sales manager to please page in whoever really runs their store so that I could talk to them. I remember vividly the captain telling the lieutenant to grow a pair and thought of how applicable that was in this situation. Leaders need to lead, and if you can't get your followers to follow you, I guess it's time for plan B. Let me say this very slowly because it's one of my favorite things I've ever said. If as an owner or manager, you accept this fact that your people won't buy into training, they've successfully gotten you to buy in that it's okay for them to suck. Who sold who in that deal? If you're in charge, act like you're in freaking charge. There's an African proverb that says an army of sheep led by a lion will easily defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. Train your people to do their jobs, hold them accountable, and make sure there are consequences for poor performance. Be a manager and a leader. Nothing else makes sense. Unless you're then maybe you just need to go grow a pair. Thanks a lot for letting me get that off my chest.